This episode of Going in Raw is sponsored by Liquid IV. The holidays are nearly upon us, and with them comes travel and a marathon of family gatherings, so be sure to stay hydrated through it all with Liquid IV.
One stick of Liquid IV and 16 ounces of water hydrates better than water alone and gives you 8 vitamins and nutrients, plus 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink, so you can stay hydrated amidst all the road trips, family get-togethers, and holiday parties.
So tear, pour, and live more and stay hydrated through the holidays with Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use code RAW at checkout. That's 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code RAW at liquidiv.com. Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
Welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. On today's episode, we've got your WWE Smackdown review where yes, you already have a question, Larson. What's your question?
When are we going to talk about the latest congressional hearing about aliens?
We might need to bring Friendo Cast back for one episode, man. Hey, you know what? Maybe at the end of the episode tonight, it's Friday night. You know, we got the Paul brother and Mike Tyson fight going on one TV over here. Once we're done with the wrestling business, maybe we can talk about the latest in the congressional. Apparently, there's aliens in the ocean, people. There's aliens in the ocean now. Anyway, Mr. Dope says maybe Roman Reigns called popcorn instead. I remember
popcorn. Know what time it was.
You want to know what time it was? Anyway, so the fifth man for the Bad Bloodline has been revealed. It kind of makes sense that the fifth man for the OG Bloodline is just how are
they going to get there? That's the question.
How are they going to get there? It's the journey that matters. But first, we got a little bit of news about a huge name potentially coming back to WWE after being away for a bit. Larson, what's up?
Correct. So this comes here from PW Insider. They report about Becky Lynch, her potential status as it relates to WWE. From PW Insider, they say on November 17th, that is Sunday, this must be, says Lynch will be sitting down for a discussion at NYA East. Promotional materials note WWE superstar Trailblazer and New York Times bestseller Rebecca Quinn will join us for a conversation about a recent memoir, Becky Lynch, The Man, Not Your Average Girl. We'll look back at her legendary career from early days grinding on the road to being the first ever women's match to main event WrestleMania, and just maybe get a glimpse at what the man has in store for us next. PW Insider continues. What is interesting about the last line is that both sources within WWE and Netflix have stated that Becky is expected to be back in the mix with the company by the time Raw premieres on Netflix. That would mean that Becky and WWE are close or have confirmed a new agreement between the two sides.
All right, man. This Netflix deal is looking to be a loaded situation.
I think they said they pretty much want this first Netflix Raw to be like a pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's going to be a big deal. I'll have to do a watch along on that. Because that one's going to be 3 hours, isn't it? The Netflix one? Yeah, that's cool.
So NYA Studios East is a sound studio.
Oh, it's this. What does the A stand for? Actors?
Yeah, but it's in Los Angeles. It's not in New York.
What? Wait a second. Why does it say East?
I don't know.
And it's in New York, Actors East? You think that's got to be?
Los Angeles is west of New York.
They kept on going east and found themselves in
They
Los
went
Angeles.
all the way around the globe.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. I wonder if they crossed over the oceans where the alien bases
NYA
are.
doesn't mean New York actors. It means something else.
I have no idea what that stands for. At some point, somebody here in the chat will probably clue us in. So what should Becky Lynch do once she shows back up in the WWE, Larson?
Something huge, because she's like one of the top stars they have. So she should get
star.
involved in something of this prominent. It's got that's impactful, of the greatest magnitude imaginable.
Yeah.
If they want to maximize the star power over there on Raw on Netflix, you bring back Becky Lynch, because she is one of the top stars in the whole company.
They got to figure out a way to get her in actual stories that aren't just, I've done it all, I'm going to fight you and probably put you over, because that's a big deal to beat Becky Lynch. You got to get deeper with your stories and actually tell some stuff. at this point without involving titles. They're able to do it with Randy Orton. They were able to do it with like John Cena whenever he would show up again. You got to write these stories for people who have already done everything. You know, you got to come up, you got to use those creative juices now that we're in an era where, you know, the women who are in the women's revolution are getting to that point where they've kind of done everything. And Becky Lynch obviously having main evented WrestleMania. We're going to see the same thing with Charlotte when she comes back. You know, you got to write some good stories for these people, you know?
Yep. Indeed. I imagine whatever she gets involved in is going to be substantial because she's Becky Lynch.
Absolutely.
You wouldn't have her come back and probably pay her a ton of money unless she's going to be involved in something that's substantial. So
it's a pretty big deal. Yeah.
Looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. Let's move on to SmackDown. Let's talk about
a fun episode tonight, right?
It was a fun episode. Bad Bloodline seemed to have found their 5th member for War Games, and perchance one could hope a 5th member long term. So Steve, first, before we start this, put your ones up for your tribal chief. Let's do it.
I don't care at this point if it's Roman or Solo. I'm down with Solo these days.
There we go.
It's November 15th. I'm down with Solo Sikoa. I'll put my ones up for Solo Sikoa. But I'm man enough to name his name, Larson. I'm not calling him just a travel. It's Solo Sikoa. I'm putting my one up for him. I thought that finally, with the addition of Big Bronson Reed, and I hope this is not a one-off. And I don't know how all this bloodline versus bloodline thing is going to settle itself if Solo's going to continue to be leader of, like, when we're deep into 2025, is there still going to be a bad bloodline who's going to have the Ulafala? Probably Roman, but that's not to say Solo can't just come up with his own Ulafala. Yeah, I've seen you can get these things on eBay. You can go to Michael's and probably make one. So I like him as part of this new bad bloodline. I think there's a lot of story potentials long term for this, man.
I agree. You know, you have someone like Bronson Reed who is vying to become a perennial main eventer. That was the stated goal in attacking Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Getting involved in the bloodline story long term can lead to that. Saw that with main event Jey Uso.
Mm-hmm.
The dynamic between himself and especially Jacob Fatu of great interest.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, considering that Bronson was brought up to main roster as a bit of a mercenary, while The Miz brought him up to main roster, maybe they're hearkening back to that in this instance. I don't know. I hope it's a long-term thing and not just, hey, we're going to have Bronson be the 5th man, brother, at War Games, and then he'll go back to doing what he's going to do on Raw and not have any interaction really with Bad Bloodline. Because I think getting him involved in this story, if the goal is to make him a main event dude, that's like the fast track to doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, I think Bad Bloodline's still going to lose, which could, you know, not bode well for him sticking around. It could be like, you guys lost, not my fault. I'm going to move on. But yeah, I'd love to see him stick around. I think that over the past couple months, I think we all realize they've done some really cool stuff with Bronson Reed. After languishing just sort of as a nothing, as a non-entity for the longest time, they've really cracked the code with him. And I think there's a lot of story potential with him and the Bad Bloodline. Hopefully they follow through with that. So, dude, we had tried to stay away from the spoilers out there because they did the Kevin Nash whiteboard situation where you film 2 Raws back to back. Apparently that's saving WWE TKO a ton of money doing that, and they might do that at least through the holidays to get people some time off, which is great for the wrestlers, man.
It is.
But they did the thing where they filmed Raw, and then tonight's SmackDown was live. So now on Monday, we're going to have the next chapter in the story, which actually already took place this past Monday in front of a live studio audience. Larson.
Yeah, well, not a studio audience, same crowd that was at live Raw last week. Yeah, it seems like this tape Raw, I don't know how many of the spoilers you've read, or there's quite a few developments. But anyway.
None. No, I'm off Twitter.
Right.
I'm on Blue Sky. I'm on Blue Sky, man. I did nothing, no spoilers there.
Really, that's a spoiler-free zone.
It is, so far it is, yeah. I don't think that's going to stay that way, though. I don't think it's going to stay that way.
Over there, the more spoilers are going to come.
But yeah, man, look, we won't confirm if it's a situation, but clearly Seth Rollins makes sense now for Roman Reigns and the OG bloodline to target as the next guy. And it seems like Roman at the end of the episode tonight was trying to get on the horn for maybe the first time since WrestleMania. The wise man himself, wise man ain't paying his cell phone bills, Larson. What's up with that?
I can see why the wise man, Paul Heyman, be disillusioned with the whole Bloodline enterprise, considering the last interaction he had with any member of the Bloodline was Bad Bloodline getting powerbombed. Shield, triple team powerbomb through the announce table. At this point, he might be saying, to hell with this. Roman hasn't reached out to me at all during this time. After Mania, while I was getting bullied by Solo, after I got powerbombed through the table, he must not care about me. Brother Shark says Solo broke his phone. That did happen, didn't it? Solo did break his phone.
Would you get that kind of weird recording, though? With a broken phone?
No, the recording is because the number isn't in use anymore.
Right, yeah. Like, he broke his phone, but, like, you still get stuff that goes up to the cloud, I think.
Yeah. Like, the voicemail will still go up there as long as the number's active, yeah. But maybe he broke the phone. It's like, well, didn't mean to change my number anyways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. It's got leaked out there.
Perfect time to do it.
Got out there somehow. Now people are, like, calling me. Steve Carino has my number. He keeps on calling me for some reason.
Bubba Ray keeps calling me all the time.
Johnny Hotbody keeps calling me. Jason the model, especially, on all the time. I keep on
getting these voicemails from Surfer Sandman. What's the deal with that?
Not normal Sandman, Surfer Sandman.
Surfer Sandman.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been talking about when is Heyman going to come back? When is Heyman going to come back? And they've taken their time with it, and I'm happy that even with the reunion between Roman and Paul Heyman, it's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
There's some tension there, evidently.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some issues that have to be overcome. Now, so far, as it relates to the reunion of the original, the OG bloodline, most of those tensions have been smoothed over pretty quickly or just kind of brushed under the rug.
Yeah, dude. We got to talk about that, man. Number one, Jey Uso should not be wearing an OG bloodline shirt. He should be wearing his shit, his teal and pink, man. That's number one. Number two, these dudes should not be having it. Sitting behind Roman, sitting in his chair, or standing behind Roman as he sits in his chair stewing. No. Get up, man. We're here for you. You've had your ass beat several times. You can't handle these dudes. We're here for you. We said we want to be equals. And you're going to sit here and act like this is the old days in this grungy ass locker room that, like, is nowhere close to the way we were living before in that nice suite. It ain't nothing like that. Heyman ain't around to hook up the fancy suite. No, we got the shit suite because nobody knows how to use the suite app.
Yeah.
And so you're going to sit here with the TV off to the side all weird stewing? No. This needs to be like a system where Roman gets to sit in the chair for 15 minutes, then Sammy gets to sit in the chair for 15 minutes, then Jay, then Jimmy,
Well, they just get a sectional and then they can all sit.
Well, there's a couch behind them. So turn the chair around and face the couch. None of this, I'm sitting with my back to you anymore.
And if there's not enough seats for everybody, guess what? Everybody stands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah. Solidarity. Are we in this or are we not in this?
If they're all on the same level, then that should be addressed regardless of the situation.
By the way, on top of that, this whole situation back on Raw, where you had these three guys going out recruiting. No.
Roman, get your ass out there recruiting too.
Get your ass up, Roman. And I know the reason why is because Roman's a goddamn liability because he done screwed everybody over. I get that. But you know what? Maybe start making some, what do they call them? Mea culpas. Maybe start apologizing to some people.
Well, it's not like Jimmy has a ton of goodwill.
No, but he's out there, He's out there.
I mean, really, if they're going to try to recruit, the two people you should send out recruiting are Jay and Sammy, the two that have the most goodwill, at least in the Raw locker room.
Yeah.
Said Jimmy.
Yeah. But you got it. No, listen, Roman got them into this mess. Roman's got it. And that's why I love that shot at the end. Roman trying to call up the wise man to do his work for him. This means Roman, and I don't know on the spoilers, but Roman's got to be the guy approaching Seth, right?
You'd think so.
I want to see him in that locker room. Oos. I'm in a tough spot. And by the way, Seth, if I'm not mistaken, you're the one who took the chair to my back, so you kind of still owe me one, buddy.
I know he can't go that route yet.
Okay.
It's got to be contrition first.
For what?
Just being bloodline Roman.
For everybody, here's the funny thing though, right? Seth is the one guy Roman doesn't have to apologize to.
No, but Seth, I don't think Seth would be willing to do anything for Roman unless the apology was first out of his mouth.
But for what though? If Seth says
whatever
to Roman,
slight Seth perceives that Roman is directed his way,
you think he's got one?
Seth, I think, is like, hey, that was a decade ago. I blasted you the back of the chair. In fact, the Shield did reunite after that. You seem cool with it then.
Yeah, right.
Why is it still an issue now?
Good point.
Hey, you ran roughshod over WWE for 4 years, and I destroyed myself at WrestleMania to keep your reign of terror from continuing. I blew out a knee. My back sucks, and it's because of you. So, on my bad at least.
I mean, Seth does have that win on Roman. Granted, it was a win because Roman beat the shit out of him too much, and he got DQ'd, but he does have that win. He was playing mind games. Bit of the fuck around, find out on that one with the Shield get up and everything, which is actually really cool. Oh, that's a good point. Andrew Joseph's got it here in our YouTube chat. The no pop line. Ooh. Seth Rollins over there on Raw. Exactly. No pop. Oh, that was unnasty because then Seth was like, well, yeah, I got a pop. Hear that? Remember, he was self-conscious about it.
So, yes, there's apology number one.
It got some hurt feelings there.
That's
so
an actual slight.
We figured it out. We got the slight. So he can, hey, Seth, you know what, man? You get a pop. I was just razzing you. Didn't know that was going to take off. Throw your ones up. And he's like, no.
Everybody sings your song. Huge pop. No one sings my song.
Big pop. Meanwhile,
What's
people are out there.
Song? I don't know.
People out there. Nobody's got lyrics there. Anyways, so yeah, we'll just go ahead and talk about the Bloodline stuff because I'm anxious to talk about this the main event, man. Because oh my god, that was so much fun.
It was
Naomi Nia Jax stuff. We'll talk about
it. Before we get to that, though, let's pay some bills, Steve.
That's a great idea. Let's go ahead and do it.
Let's take a break here. Good word from sponsor of today's show, Liquid IV. This time of year can be quite the whirlwind, Steve. With the holidays comes travel, family gatherings, and amidst all the craziness, it's easy to forget to take care of yourself.
Which is why I always keep Liquid IV on hand, Larson, so I can stay hydrated through all the road trips, family dinners, or parties that the holiday season can bring. 1 stick of Liquid IV and 16 ounces of water hydrates you better than water alone and gives you 8 vitamins and nutrients plus 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink.
And not only is Liquid IV an essential part of the holiday season, it is an absolute must for Steve and I when we play our semi-weekly basketball games. See, our hoop season, it goes on forever. We just played today.
Mm-hmm.
It never ends. Twice a week, every week, in perpetuity, and without Liquid IV, I don't know if we can keep going at that schedule.
Oof.
Keep doing it. The grind.
It's a grind. It's definitely
it is a grind. I don't think I could keep hitting deep threes in your face.
Yeah.
Half-court shots. Again, in your face, twice a week, every week.
You know, I know that I've been agreeing with you on that one, Larson, but to be honest with you, I was just trying to butter you up a little bit. You know, I gotta put a stop to that. The deep threes in my face, they don't happen. The half-court shots don't happen. How many did you make today? How many half-courts did you make today?
I only tried twice, and I didn't make either of them. I wasn't feeling it today. So
there you go.
But the deep threes, I was shooting those aplenty.
Over. You got an over today. Anyways, I want you guys to tear, pour, and live more and stay hydrated through the holidays with Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use code RAW at checkout. That's 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code RAW at liquidiv.com.
All right, let's get after it, Steve.
Let's get after it.
Let's talk this, what led up to the reveal of Bronson Reed, member of Bad Bloodline, at least for War Games, and Roman having to make that call at the end of the show. So first we see of Bloodline, is good Bloodline, OG Bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy's on the phone backstage.
Mm-hmm.
And he walks up to Jay and Sammy, and Jay asks, hey, who you're talking to? And Jimmy says, it was Roman. He's going to be here shortly. He wants all of us to meet in the same room so we can go over plans. And Jay's like, yeah, we still need a 5th for War Games. And Sammy goes, I think I know there's someone I could talk to. So then we see Sammy. It's not mic'd up, or they're just kind of pantomiming a conversation. Sammy's talking to LA Knight, and based on the body language, you can definitely tell that LA Knight's telling Sammy, nah.
Nah.
And he walks away because he has the U.S. title open challenge. More on that later. So Jay tells Jimmy, we still need to find a fifth member. And then Sammy walks in and says, yeah, it's not looking good. So Sammy's like, where is Roman at? And Jimmy says, well, Roman told me to meet him here. Camera pans out, and they're literally standing in front of Roman's locker room. So they go in there.
I appreciate also that they're already in we're basically like trying not to giggle mode. Like when you first see Jimmy and Jay, like they're trying not to laugh. Sammy shows up. They try not to laugh. I was fully expecting him to slip in a line or something meant to make them crack, because it feels like that's where we're headed. But yeah, these guys, kind of a clown show, but I think that they need to step to Roman and be like, dude, you need to step up, man.
Exactly. So then after the commercial, we come back. Usos and Sammy are in the locker room. They wait for Roman. He walks in, takes a seat while they stand. And Sammy's like, all right, I'll just say it. We've been to Raw. We've been to SmackDown. No one wants to work with us. So we don't have anybody to be our fifth dude. And Jay tells Roman, you got to make the call. Just make the call. Well, then in the monitor, kind of like off to the Roman's right and behind them, there's they see Solo and Bad Bloodline make their entrance.
Yeah.
And so Roman gets up and leaves, and the rest of the OG Bloodline follows. Bad Bloodline gets to the ring. They put up their ones. Solo says, Milwaukee and Steve here, acknowledge me. So Roman's music hits. So the OG Bloodline, they walk down to ringside, get on the apron, get in the ring. Huge brawl breaks out. Bunch of craziness happens. And then it gets to the point where it's just Jacob and Roman in the ring. So they circle each other. That's when Bronson Reed comes in and lays out Roman from behind. And then Reed proceeds to just lay out basically everybody.
Yeah.
Along with Bad Bloodline. It all culminates in Roman eating a moonsault from Jacob Fatu and then a tsunami from Bronson Reed. Then there's a bunch of security and producers get in the ring, and Jacob pushes them all back so he can present Solo with Ula Fala. And the Bad Bloodline stand at the foot of the ramp. They put their ones up. And then the ring. Jay says again, Roman, make the call.
Make the call, man. Get your Rolodex out. You know, latest Paul Heyman number. He's flipping through this thing. Is it under L or P? What? I don't know. H maybe. latest. New Paul Heyman. Is that what it is? Latest.
His name's not latest Paul Heyman.
Well, it's the latest Paul Heyman number.
Well, then you'd have a card either for Paul, other under Heyman, Paul, or Paul Heyman, or the Wise Man.
He just scratches out the old one?
Yeah. Or you take the old card out and put the new card in.
You put the old one.
Did you ever do anything with a Rolodex in your life?
No, fuck no. I'm not that old. Did you?
You are. I remember Rolodexes, yeah.
No, I remember them. I didn't have
one. I remember flipping through one at certain points in my life, yeah.
What points of your life? You're like only a year older than me.
I assume when I was a child.
I'm going to call Jimmy for a sleepover. Let me get out my Rolodex.
So anyways, after the main event, Roman, he's Winston in the locker room selling the effects of the tsunami and the moonsault. And then he takes his phone out. Call Wise Man. And there's a sense of relief that comes over him.
He's so happy to finally, to reconnect. He has got a reason.
And he's waiting for Heyman to pick up, and that's when the phone here says, the number you have reached is not in service. And
this is a recording.
Instantly deflated.
And he drops his phone, and then Lee Fitting and Hunter Hearst Helmsley Ames shows up as executive producer. It was a wonderfully dramatic way to end SmackDown. Yeah,
it was a cliffhanger, a reason for you to want to tune in to the next episode. Imagine that.
Right, exactly. I know, it's good stuff. You know, we got to watch Raw, which is already filmed, so you can watch spoilers of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, good stuff there with the Bloodline. Yeah, I like all. I'm trying to think if there was anything else about that. Yeah, so look, and also I got to point this out, and I was gonna look through the thread really quick, but I don't have time. Somebody I think it was last week, said either on YouTube or in our question thread or whatever, could it be Seth? And we kind of dismissed it out of hand.
No, I think when we did our power rankings, though, we had Seth number 2.
When we did our power rankings, yeah, maybe it was the week before. It was early on, I think. Somebody's like, "What about Seth?" We're like, "They're not going to cross brands." Well, apparently they are.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they are.
whoever,
Like Jay's on Raw, so of course they're going to cross brands. Yeah.
whoever that was, congratulations. We're a bunch of big dummies. The thing that I really hope, now I got my hopes up for this, and it probably won't happen. Roman versus Seth at WrestleMania. I think that you can explore that story, but that might only take place if Good Bloodline loses this, and I don't see that happening. So maybe that's not going to happen. Plus,
Good
they're both
Bloodline
good guys.
loses, then that's Bad Bloodline beating them twice. Why would Solo be like, yeah, but might will have fallen in the line? Doesn't make any sense.
Plus, on top of that, Seth and Roman are both good guys now. I think you'd need basically Seth to go back to being a bad guy, I think. Roman in my mind is already kind of a bad guy because he hasn't said I'm sorry to anybody.
Yeah,
but the crowd loves the OTC, so he's not a bad guy.
I know.
Yeah.
The main event for SmackDown tonight was for the WWE Women's Championship. Nia defending against Naomi. Really good match.
They had me thinking, man. They had me really thinking towards the finish when that split-legged moonsault happened. Wow. That was an awesome
really good
match.
It was really good. So before that, like right before, Naomi's prepping for the match. Bayley, who had a match earlier, we'll talk about that in a bit, walks up, says, "I'm really excited for you to win the title tonight." She says, "But before we get too excited, talk about what happened recently. Don't trust Io." And then it says, we can't trust her. So Jade and Bianca walk in. And Bianca says, hey, essentially, I'm not letting go of our beef.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what I'm concerned with tonight. I'm concerned with Naomi winning the title. And both Bianca and Jade say to Naomi, "We got you tonight."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so Bayley just kind of senses an awkward situation, at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. Yeah. So in the main event, Naomi makes her entrance with Jade and Bianca, but they go backstage. Nia comes out with Tiffany, tells her to leave. They go back. She goes backstage. And this match was just absolutely awesome, man. There was a little bit of overbooking here because during the match, they end up both on the floor. So Nia hits a pop-up Samoan drop, looks for an annihilator, but Naomi gets up and pushes her to the floor. Naomi hits her with a crossbody off the top. Camera cuts backstage, and we have Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez laying out Jade and Bianca. They're done. Naomi puts Nia back in the ring. The ref checks on her. Tiffany then attacks Naomi and rolls her in there. Nia goes up top, but Naomi's able to hit her with an enziguri. Nia looks for a super power slam, but Naomi does a fucking crazy ass like Rana, flips over her.
Yeah, that was
only
crazy.
Gets 2 with that, but that was an awesome reversal there.
It really was.
Tiffany gets on the apron to distract Naomi. Then Bayley comes to ringside, lays out Tiffany. Naomi rolls up Nia, gets 2 with that. Naomi posts Nia, and I'm thinking, holy shit, this is going down now. Split-legged moonsault. Nia kicks out. Naomi goes up top. Candice runs to ringside, shoves Bayley into the ring post. Nia hits Naomi with a Samoan drop off the second rope, follows with a devastating annihilator for the win. Crowd was super into this. Man, oh man. This was wildly fun. And yeah, so I'm assuming, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, or whatever the friend of my, whatever the goddamn thing is. Bayley's going to end up on that team. Seems right?
Yeah, that sounds right. That sounds right. Yeah, we'll have Candice be the 5th for the heel team and Bayley.
Seems like it, huh? Yeah.
Face team, yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be, there's only a couple weeks left, but hopefully they fast track Bayley getting on that team so that we can get some of that tension already between her. Who do you like for that? That match in terms of who's winning?
Oh, wow.
Should be good guys, right?
I don't know, because if it's Bayley's got issues with EO, assuming it's Bayley, is the 5th. The 5th member. Bayley has issues with EO, with Bianca. The can they coexist question has to be posed. And if you're going to have Good Bloodline win one of the War Games matches, maybe it might make some sense to have the heel team win the other.
It sets up some feuds that I don't know they want to pursue though, because you got Bailey's not going to get into a feud with Bianca. I mean, that'd be cool, but I don't think that's going to happen. This is the thing. This is the thing. Good guys win. You know why? Because you finally have Bianca and Bailey make up.
Well,
that's the thing. That's the thing that gets Bianca liking Bailey now that Bailey's a good guy.
But here's the thing, Steve, is let's segue to the U.S. Women's U.S. title tournament, because we have the bracket here. And look, Bailey, Bianca on the same side of the bracket.
Yeah.
Probably going to face each other in the semifinals.
So Bailey came out of hers tonight in a really fun match. Good showcase for BFAB too.
Yeah, it was. It really was.
We got Bianca, Chelsea, and Blair Davenport, who's going to be eating the pin. You know, dude, this is the thing. Again, with the building up to this, Bianca doesn't have to proceed because somebody can screw her over. It's a triple, and on top of that, it's a triple threat. So, like, Chelsea can make it through, which would be a ton of fun, and people would love to see that shit.
Yeah.
And then Bailey beats her on the other side, because when this is the finals are going to be at Saturday night's main event, right?
Yeah, about a month from now. Yeah.
So on the other side, and they teased with BFAB tonight, saying this to Chelsea and Piper, the idea that if they make it to the final, I don't think that's going to happen. But
only one of you could be champion. Yeah.
But I mean, the possibilities here are that you get Naomi and Bailey in the finals, but that's not till December. So it's like everybody's on the same page, and they're just like, hey, whoever wins, wins. If it ends up being Bailey and Naomi's going to be the first United States champion.
Yeah, it's a good chance of that.
On the other hand, let's see here. Tiffany and Naomi. I mean, there's always one person to take the pin here.
Yeah. We also don't know when all these matches are happening as it relates to Survivor Series either.
Yeah.
Obviously, we had the match tonight, the first match. Now, is this going to be a weekly thing? They're going to have a match.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this next week is going to be Jade, Mia Yim, and Piper. And then maybe they're going to wait until after War Games to do Bianca's match. I'm just trying to spitball a schedule in my head, you know?
Well,
to fit into whatever story they want to tell.
I'm assuming this is going to be weekly. I mean, like one per episode until...
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That'd be 4 weeks from now, which would take you... Well, no, it'd have to be more than weekly for all of them to fit in, because we're a month away from Saturday Night Main Event. You have to get the 4 quarterfinals, the 2 semis in.
So, like, you got Bianca in that match. She gets screwed by somebody on bad guy team. That's already on. If they do well, no, they're going to do that on SmackDown. Naomi, Tiffany Stratton, Elektra Lopez, and then Jade, Michin, and Piper Niven. Man, I really want Michin to win this whole thing. I don't think it's going to happen though.
That'd be pretty
awesome,
cool.
though.
I mean, I'd be really happy if either Mia Yim or Naomi won this.
There isn't a bad option here. The only like the bad options in my opinion are Bianca and Bailey. Because they've already hella won those world titles. And it's like, yeah, you might want to establish the U.S. title as like a big deal by having a former world champion win it. But give it to somebody who hasn't, you know, give it to somebody who's climbing the ladder still. And I know Naomi's been a world champion, wasn't very long, wasn't like a great run because she was booked by Vince at the time. And I feel like that's kind of different than Bianca, who's main event in Mania, Bailey, who's done it, has like, I don't know, some record or something.
She's done everything, yeah.
Yeah, done everything. So yeah.
Yeah, who knows? And I guess there's always the possibility always exists that it's not Bailey as the 5th member for the face team, you know?
Yeah, but who else would it be?
I don't know, but it was a situation where, all right, you got Jade, Bianca, you got Naomi and Io, and Bianca and Io are both, nope, no Bailey.
Well, that's not a very good story. That's like you're watching the beginning of a movie. It's like, why don't they just leave the house? There, problem solved. The ghost can haunt somebody else.
I'm just putting it out there. That what if they're like, no, and that causes tension between Bailey and Bianca and or furthers the tension between them. I'm just putting it out there. I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, now Bailey's on that team, man. I'm telling you right now, that's happening. That shit's happening. But no, the match tonight was phenomenal. The triple threat was absolutely phenomenal. I thought it was awesome. Finally, BFAB gets to show what she can do. And towards the finish, man, they had me going also. had me going. I was like, B-Fab, you going to get this? No, she didn't get it. I was hoping for kind of an upset with Candace coming through, but no, Bailey ended up getting the win here. A lot of like moves happening and then people trying to take advantage, mainly Candace trying to take advantage. Bailey ends up getting a roll-up win on B-Fab here to get the win. Afterwards, we got the Prophets talking to B-Fab backstage. Prophets say, hey, you did great. B-Fab's like, tells him, hey, go show out in your match. Chelsea and Piper show up. They talk shit. Chelsea's like, when we become the first U.S. champ, we'll let you hold the title. Just kidding. And then B-Fab's like, what are you going to do if you both make it to the finals and only one of you could be champ? And then Mi-Chin shows up with the kendo stick, says, I don't need a tournament to fight. Is there a problem? And Chelsea's like, the only problem is your kendo stick. We got to get out of here. And then her and Piper leave.
Yep. Cody opened the show. Whoa.
Yeah.
He didn't wear a suit. He had his comfies on.
I just get some gray sweatpants. That's what we all want to see from Cody, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
He should have had like a backwards. You got the sleeves. It just doesn't. The sleeveless shirt just doesn't. You gotta. Yeah. He's got great arms and everything. Don't get me wrong.
Good shape. I don't see the
He's in
issue
phenomenal
with the sleeveless
shape.
shirt is.
It's just I don't know. His merch is so goofy.
And that's the issue. It's not the sleeveless shirt. Is that the merch is just too much.
Mid-Journey ass logo that he put. I'm like, I use Mid-Journey.
It's not good. It's not good. So he comes to the ring in sweatpants and merch shirt with sleeves cut off and some Nike Dunks. They run a replay of Kevin Owens pile driving Randy Orton last week, and commentary says that Orton is out indefinitely. So Cody calls out Kevin Owens. Does it once, no Kevin Owens. Does it twice, Nick Aldis comes out instead. So he says, Cody, I know you're angry. I have Randy, he's laid up from cervical trauma. Just after he came back from back surgery, I understand that this is a different situation. Kevin Owens used a power driver. There's a reason why that move is outlawed in this company, because we don't want this generation to end up in wheelchairs later on in life. He says, I know we do whatever it takes as wrestlers to get the huge paydays, but you don't cross that line, and Kevin Owens crossed that line. Until we figure this thing out, I can't have him here. And Cody says, you're going to make a martyr of Kevin Owens. You're giving him exactly what he wants. You think he cares about money? He just bought a Lambo. He says, Kevin Owens is self-righteous. He's an ass. Before he can say asshole, Aldis interrupts, says, you think this is about money? This is about the roster knowing that I know that if you give them an inch, they take a mile, and next thing you know, the inmates are running the asylum. You think that's some shade to send towards Adam Pearce?
I was hoping he would make it more explicit.
Yeah.
You know, like he does the coughing thing, like, look at Raw.
Yeah, no. Because until this is resolved internally, he can't be here. And Cody says, Nick, be real for a second. I know in your role you have to be objective, but I also know that under that jacket you're a wrestler. You're a good man. Imagine you were in the back of that ambulance having to call Randy's wife, calling his loved ones. And when they ask why this happened, Kevin Owens is saying it's because of me. So now Orton's been put on the shelf, and that's because of me. If I can't handle my business in a WWE ring, what do you expect me to do? Do you want me to get on a plane, go to his house, beat his ass in his front yard? I know that's not what you want from your company's champ, but Nick, this ball is in your court, and I won't be waiting very long, so he leaves.
Cut to his.
And later on, we get a Matt Chat question from Kevin Owens.
Yeah, man, he does. Goat Brooke here in YouTube chat says, I'm a hater. I was thinking of AEW when Aldis said that.
Oh.
So, yeah, we got a Matt Chat question from Kevin Owens. He's like, I showed up at SmackDown. I was told to leave due to what I did at Orton. All I did last week was show up and do my job. But just now, Nick Aldis called me to be on SmackDown next week because Cody wants me there. Cody Rhodes wants me on SmackDown. He says, you know what, Cody, I shouldn't show up, but I will. Not for you, not for Nick, not for WWE. I'm going to show up for myself because I happen to love Utah, the fresh air, all that stuff. It's good to me. He said, but when I show up next week, I'm just doing what you told me to do. I'm just doing my job. I kind of feel like this face-to-face is not going to be just a face-to-face. I don't think they're just going to talk.
Probably going to be some violence.
Probably going to be violence.
Speaking of violence, Tommaso Ciampa brought the violence. We had Motor City Machine Guns defending their tag titles against Street Profits, interrupted by Tommaso Ciampa's violence.
Yeah.
So the Street Profits are setting up to hit a doomsday blockbuster, and Ciampa runs or teleported. I don't know how he did it. Showed up ringside and pushes Montez off the top rope. So, of course, ref calls for the bell, DQ. And then Ciampa just starts beating up Montez Ford. And eventually Alex Shelley pulls him off. And then Gargano runs down the ring to try to calm Ciampa down. It seems like Ciampa's calm, and then he just shoves Gargano right in his butt and leaves. And then Motor City Machine Guns tell the Profits, Motor City Machine Guns just like, you just walk away. Because they're like, hey, that we didn't plan that. That's not on us. We didn't do that, but they were just so like over the board, effusive about, hey,
they're new, man. They're new.
I know.
You gotta.
Hey, not on us. We didn't do that. That it was suspect, and then Dawkins punches Alex Shelley in the face.
Yeah, right. Rude. Honestly, they're trying to be super nice. Profit's probably upset that Motor City Machine Guns got a huge pop and they didn't. So that's what happens. But they're just trying to be nice. They're new. They're like, hey, we're still trying to make friends around here. I was hoping that Gargano would like try to beat them up too. To be honest, I was hoping Gargano would be on. I want Gargano and Ciampa to be bad guys, both together in unison, DIY.
Yeah,
that'd be nice, but I guess not. I guess we're getting a split.
They're gonna feud, and it's gonna be like just a scintilla of what we had in NXT.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's gonna be like a pale comparison, huh?
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah. We mentioned LA Knight, earlier.
Yeah.
He had a U.S. title open challenge, so he comes to the ring and says, well, let me talk to you. My God, I've been around the world, and everybody's looking for this thing. Yes.
That's a Lisa Stansfield song reference that he made.
Yeah. No,
Song's
I got it.
Like, it came out in like 89, 88, something like that.
Have you heard him say Keister before, Steve? All his references are dated.
So, isn't he like younger than us?
Yeah.
So he was like, what, 6 when that song came out?
But like these references, we know them. Like he's speaking to us with them.
This dude acts like he's definitely used a Rolodex in his adult life.
Without a doubt. He probably still has one.
He probably has a fresh one, yeah. Can you get these on Amazon? Do these still exist? Like, are they still being manufactured?
They do. You can probably get old ones, yeah.
Old ones, or like, are they still being manufactured?
Why would anybody have a new one? Everybody's got their numbers in their phones.
Rolodex. Oh my God, yeah. Look, no, Rolodex, the brand is still. This looks fancy.
Oh wow.
They look like.
Are they all like digital? Are the cards all digital now?
No, they're pieces of paper, man.
Oh, that seems. I mean, it makes more sense, but.
Yeah, LA Knight's only 42. Jeez.
So he continues, says, I walked out of Crown Jewel, still your U.S. champ. And that must have caught some eyes because now Sammy asked me to join this Bloodline Civil War. That's not my fight. I don't need that. In fact, if the whole Bloodline destroyed each other, I'd be fine with that. I've got my own business. This isn't the Logan Paul show anymore, so I got to defend this title more than twice a year. And so the crowd starts kind of like booing Logan Paul. He goes, no, it's fine to boo Logan Paul. Go ahead.
Yeah.
And so it was cacophony of boos for Logan Paul. So he says, U.S. title open challenge. And Legato's music hit. And I'm like, Santos has lost against LA Knight like at least 5 times on TV for this title and built up this title. We don't need to go back to this.
It's almost like a solo level of losing to LA Knight.
I know, but it's like, hey, what do we do? What do we do with LA Knight? I don't know. I'm feud with Santos.
Yeah.
It's not a slight towards Santos. I like Santos. So Santos says, LA Knight, let me tell you something. Why can't you say something cool like Escobar C? Are you not tired of hearing yourself speak? I don't know about these Milwaukeeans. They're in Milwaukee. But I am, and I think it's time for someone to shut you up. And he says Electra has a chance to become the first women's U.S. champion, so I thought, why not bring that U.S. title to the Legato? And LA Knight says, I hear everything you're saying, but I can feel this goof, talking about Berto, staring a hole in me right now. I think he said something about, you look like you want to pour barbecue sauce over my face and eat it. He says, to Santos, me and you, we've done that, and I beat you.
Yeah.
And then he turns back to Santos, and a long-winded way of challenging him to a match. And then Santos gets in LA Knight's face, and then Berto blasts him, and they start stomping on him.
Well,
match happens.
Hold on a second. You missed the best part, is when he said, I'm going to beat you like your daddy did. And Santos looked appalled at that. And then he said, but you can't call me daddy, only she can.
I know. He was talking too fast, and I was trying to type this in real time.
Oh, that shit was fucking fun.
Well, he says, then you can call me daddy. You'll be saying uncle. He'll say,
yeah. You'll say, you'll be saying uncle. Yeah. I'll beat you. Yeah. I'll
Yeah.
Anyways, it's all over the map with this guy. I love LA Knight. I know people are gonna be like, oh, I don't like. I love LA Knight because this shit's so funny.
It's all over the place. He won with BFT, and then Nakamura, looking like a Sith Lord,
Yeah.
shows up and lays him out.
That was cool. And he had like weird, like red, like
Face paint on,
Palpatine face paint on his eyes.
Yeah.
That was cool. Yeah. So he's going to take that U.S. title off LA Knight?
Huh?
Nada.
Wait, that's not going to happen, Steve.
Probably not. But you know, might be a good feud. I say put it on Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah, I say why not.
Anyways, we also had, what else do we have on SmackDown?
That was it. That was the show.
Oh shit, that's everything?
That was everything, man. It was a breezy episode.
Get to talk about them ocean aliens then, huh? Those oceanic
yeah, let's take
aliens.
10 minutes to talk about So you just sent me a link with some like a recap of some of the people's testimony about the latest alien testimony in front of was the oversight committee, was it?
Right, yeah.
So I read that. There's reports of orbs going into the water and coming out.
I should have not interrupted myself. He was part of the program.
There you go.
There you go. That investigated UAPs.
So they said they've tried to reverse engineer alien technology.
Do you think some of that Havana syndrome might be?
Could be. It's like, do you think alien technology right here?
Nah, it's just Steve Jobs. Dude was hella smart. Might have been an alien Steve Jobs, but I think he was just, he wasn't reverse engineering. He was just engineering.
He was just engineering.
Yeah, he might have alien DNA, though. I don't know. You'd have to check his ancestry.com. But I mean, that's a possibility. But like, I'm thinking it was the Havana syndrome thing where like, the Russians were blasting fools with some sonic reducer gun.
Energy weapon, and then they were getting really sick. Yeah.
Yeah, messing with their brains.
I don't know.
So they're doing that.
Wait, who? Aliens?
Oceanic. Well, no, because the bad guys like the Russians, they've got technology. They're saying that like we've got some tech and they've got some tech.
Yeah. And there was something else about how there was some technology being utilized, and that when pressed, I think the person said was not like from a governmental body. I'm not just talking about in the States. They said the implication was it was either a private corporation developing or reverse engineering this technology, or aliens.
Yeah,
they're monitoring military bases, I think.
It was a private corporation on fucking Jupiter or some shit.
Well, there's you can't live on Jupiter, Steve.
These oceanic aliens can, evidently. Or maybe
if they're deep in the ocean, there's a lot of pressure on Jupiter.
Right, exactly. Or Europa. Maybe on Europa. Something like that. I don't know. Maybe they're closer. Maybe they're on Venus.
I mean, there's pretty harsh conditions on Venus. It's super hot.
Yeah, but these are oceanic aliens.
Yeah, the ocean's very cold.
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what it's all about, man. But I know it's bad news for us humans. This guy said that he knew about contact between human and alien going back to 2015. You think it's possible that an alien took over the body of our current president or the soon-to-be president, our current president-elect?
I don't know, man.
Some of the shit that dude says seems like it, huh? It's like, and then he's like, I weave. No, you're talking alien, buddy. That's what's happening here. Talking about mass deportations. Yeah, probably to Jupiter. It's Friday. What do you want? Anyways, you want to answer some questions?
I need to read it more. Or they had I saw the whole testimony in that link you sent me. So it's only an hour to spend. I can just chill out and listen to some testimony about aliens.
Chill out and listen to some testimony. Here, Lauren, what's her name? Brobert. Try to fucking maneuver the English language while talking to these people. Yeah. All right, man. Dope says, how do we know we aren't the aliens? Isn't that one idea that like the building blocks for human life came from like Mars or some shit like that?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
AJ Otani says, who do you want to see benefit from 3-hour shows next year? Pure Fusion Collections.
Yeah, Pure Fusion Collective. Yeah.
The WWE ID players. Jack Summit.
Oh, they should have showcase matches on Raw and SmackDown.
That'd be cool.
Cartwheel Jack Summit versus Ice Williams.
Cappuccino Jones versus Lance Anoa'i.
There you go.
Speaking of whom, David Matushik says, with Lance Anoa'i joining WWE's ID program, which bloodline do you think he should choose if the story continues? Wait until 2027 when the bloodline starts bringing in some oceanic aliens.
All right.
And then choose a side, because I'm going to want to be on their side. Feel like
Alien
they're going to...
side or the bloodline side?
The oceanic alien side. Whichever bloodline faction they join.
Gotcha. Nate Cruz says, what nicknames does Roman have for Jimmy and Jay in his phone? Well, Jay was the right-hand man at first, and then he was main event.
Or was he main event?
What was Jimmy's thing?
Him.
Yeah,
Him, Jim Uso.
Him,
Jim. Probably just, what's their real names? Josh and John or something like that?
I think.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
I think so.
Johnny.
Josh, John.
AJ Otani says, who's your favorite lackey in wrestling faction history?
Wow.
It's got to be Vincent. Not Virgil, Vincent. Or, honestly, like fucking Beefcake.
The Disciple, you mean?
The Disciple, yeah. Like, dude, your name is The Disciple?
Yeah, I got to think about that one.
Who was the lackey in DX? There really wasn't one, was there?
Not really.
Not really.
I guess X-Pac, maybe. I don't know.
Who was the lackey in the corporate ministry?
Gosh, there were so many people in that faction.
Midian.
Yeah, Midian. Naked Midian.
Naked Midian.
Yeah. Chadwick Hughes says, where would you guys want to see the Paul Heyman situation lead to? Oh,
Well,
all the OG bloodline were putting their ones up.
Somebody suggested that Roman has to, like, they do a cinematic where Roman has to, like, you know, find him in a cave somewhere. Like, you know, he's like Clint Eastwood in one of them old spaghetti westerns where he has to go and heal himself.
Yeah.
So he's got like a big scraggly beard, and you know, he's being tended to by local folk. You know, he's like, wise man, what happened to you? Didn't you watch Smackdown? I don't watch that show. I like Succession, Prestige television.
When I was done with the season, I watch it all over again.
I've been watching The Diplomat lately.
Oh, have you watched that show?
Man, Lacey had it on. I got bored to death. I love the cast. It's got a great cast, and I think it's a good show. But it's like
it's kind of over the top.
That's an understatement, man. I'm like, man, is this married couple? Is that all they do is fight? Like, all they do is just talk shit to each other. The girl from The Americans.
Yeah.
And then Rufus Sewell.
Yeah.
Sewell.
Yeah. Are you caught up on the Penguin yet?
No, I'm gonna try to do that this week. It's been a gnarly week for me.
I understand.
So I was planning on getting caught up this week, and then I was told I gotta, you know, put down my best friend. So it fucking sucks, man.
It's the shits, man. It is the absolute shits.
Yeah.
It's the shits.
Lord Blake Whitehouse says, with Speedball Mike Bailey allegedly going to AEW.
Yeah.
Is that the best place for him, or would the U be better? Give me Speedball in the U. Come on, man. He's going to be like fighting Commander on Rampage.
Yeah, I know. I mean, really, like, he's accomplished. He should be on main roster. If we were to go to WWE, he should be going to NXT.
Bro, that's where the small people are.
Well, he's going to sign with WWE and just stay in NXT forever?
No.
Okay, then let's put him main roster.
Against who?
Match with Dragon Lee. That'd be amazing.
Oh, man, he should be in NXT.
Hey, he's Speedball Mike Bailey. Make him the star of Speed.
Jesus, man, you're burying this guy before he's even in the company. That was weird. He went from main roster in your estimation all the way down. Put him in level up. Why don't you do that?
No, Speed is main roster, fool.
I guess
I'm not saying exclusively on Speed, but have him be the dude.
Speed is main roster the way main event's main roster.
Yeah, main event's main roster.
You want him a main event now?
No, I want him on Raw. But also Speed. Maybe I'd watch Speed if Speedball was wrestling on Speed.
He needs to be in NXT. Him and Fraxium.
How many times Speedball win that X Division championship?
The fuck do we have not covered TNA in years?
A couple times at least.
Yeah,
He should be on main roster. Come on, get out of here with that.
Ethan Page went to NXT.
Yeah, and after he got to NXT, it made sense.
How is it Ethan Page accomplished everything he could accomplish in NXT within like a month? He's already a non-entity.
I know.
It's weird. It's like all downhill from here for Ethan Page in NXT.
I know, it really is. So Private Pulse here says they got Braun Breaker on Speed, so I don't know what's going on over there. See, Speed is a star-studded show.
Listen, Mike Bailey, he does like the karate thing?
Yeah.
NXT Speedball versus Karate Man. Box office.
They probably pitched that to him. He's like, no, I'll go to AEW.
Yeah, right. Yeah, do you think he probably talked to WWE? Like, hey, listen, you'd be great, but all our small guys go to NXT. He's like, well, Motor City Machine Guns are like 5'5". He's like, oh, yeah, that's the exception.
But they're a tag team. That's different,
They're a tag team. They're old. They're on limited time.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're like older than I am.
Yeah, Speedball shouldn't be going to NXT.
How old is Speedball?
What?
How old is Mike Bailey?
Probably in his mid-30s. He's
Mike
old
Bailey,
man,
wrestler. He said mid-30s. Oh, okay. He's 34. That'd been amazing if he was like 27.
No, I mean, like he was wrestling,
like
and he
mid-30s.
He couldn't wrestle in the States for like 5 years, so I knew he had to be.
Isn't that wild? Like you mess up one time and you can't be here for 5 years. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yep. Alex Foster here says, when Roman was a babyface, Steve said he should sell more and wrestle naked. Well, that helped the story this time around. So he was selling great tonight.
I can't be held responsible for what I said 3 years ago, man. I don't know what wild shit I said back then. What now?
So he was selling the effects of the tsunami and the
selling like crazy.
But should he try calling Paul Heyman in the nude?
I mean, I know a lot of Twitter accounts and Maggie would love that shit. So yeah, probably. I wouldn't mind seeing that, to be honest with you. It's probably a good looking man.
Yeah.
In the buff.
Handsome man.
In the buff. See that tribal beef.
There you go.
John and Alistair voice says, You're in each other's corners, qualifier matches, and need to get the dub. How do you as corner men help each other?
So we're in opposite corners?
No. You're my corner guy, and I'm your corner guy for different matches.
Oh.
Not at the same time. That'd be weird.
You send your opponent to the ropes, and then I jump, and then I fart in their face. And they're all, smells like poop, and then you roll them up, win. Done.
Okay. Can we take it a step further? Can you actually throw some fecal matter at them?
Well, I want to get on my hands.
You wear gloves.
Where is this fecal matter coming from?
Carry it in a bag, like a little doggy bag, like you do.
Is it dog poop then?
Dog. No, it's yours.
How about I just accidentally have like a CM Punk incident where I just accidentally poop myself.
But you're my corner man.
Yeah, it's all a ruse.
Oh wow.
To distract your opponent, so you roll them up.
Yeah, man. I don't know, but I don't think our thing. Can we just do brass knucks or something?
Come on,
Dan. I distract the ref. You whack him with the brass knucks.
Come on, be new.
Come on. Okay, spiked brass knucks.
No, this is it. I come to the ringside area with the basketball, and the whole match I'm like dribbling, working on my handles down there.
Okay.
You send your opponent to the rope. I pass the ball right into their face.
Oh man! Wow. Then they're like, oh, shocked, and so they turn around. We'll pass. Stunner. Gotcha.
There you go.
Or a Thed. My finish is gonna be a Thez press.
Thez press. There you go.
Yeah. Anyways, that's gonna do it for the show today, everybody. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it. We'll be back on. Oh wait, are we gonna upload that one? Because we're doing a retro. We're going retro with a retro review next
you gotta
week.
record that on Monday, right? So you can put it up Monday, I guess.
I think put it up on Monday. I'll do it as a premiere. Survivor Series 2001 is going to be what we're doing our retro review on next week. And then we'll see you guys live, hopefully, for our Raw review on Tuesday. No Full Gear watch along next weekend. I might do at the MF Steve here Twitch channel a Costco guy versus QT Marshall watch along in the kickoff.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw this because you're on Blue Sky, but apparently at one point earlier this week, who's the main dude? AJ from the Costco guys?
Or is he Big Justice?
Who's facing QT?
One of those guys.
I think it's AJ, isn't it?
Oh, is AJ the dad?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was ranked the #1 wrestler on Cage Match. And I was like, Steve's been in there.
Yeah, that worked. That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you know how long that took me?
You did it, though.
I had to do a lot. I'm admitting it. So yes.
That's a boom!
That's a boom! We'll see you guys later.
Goodbye.